Welcome to NASCAR Nuts and Bolts Podcast. We are launching our first pilot official episode. I am your host, Kaleb, along with my co-hosts, Gene and Thomas. Fellas, how are we feeling? How are we doing?
Man, I'm doing great. Just wrapped up the holiday season. Got some good food today for New Year's. Got some traditional food. Ready to start 2024 and more importantly, start the NASCAR Cup Series season.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man, my holidays were good too. I'm just eagerly awaiting the Daytona 500. That's the main thing that's on my schedule. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most right now. What's on my mind?
Man, we're 48 days, 47 days away from the Daytona 500. It's so close. I can feel the cars up at Charlotte Speedway, just driving already. But
Absolutely.
I thought it was funny. We're 47, 48 days away from the 500. The 2014 season, 10 years ago, and the 2004 NASCAR season was 20 years ago.
Man.
So you got Junior winning his Daytona 500, the last race at Rockingham, Kurt Busch championship, and also found out that was the first year that they did the chase. So I thought that was pretty cool. So fellas, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready for Daytona. I'm ready to see the cars back on the track.
Yeah. I mean, I know we got the Clash before that, but I mean, let's be honest. We're all just pumped up for Speed Weeks at Daytona, and the qualifying races, the qualifying, obviously Sunday Xfinity race, truck race. I mean, it's just gonna be magical for guys like us, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Now I gotta ask, what you guys been up to during this off season? It seems like it's dragging its feet a little bit, but we're making the best of it. It seems.
Yeah, I think I speak for all of us when for those that are going to follow us and listen to us, man. One thing you got to know about us three, we are diehard NASCAR fanatics, but we're also avid diecast collectors. So we've probably all been just buying up all the diecasts we can do, getting through the holidays and really just waiting for the next season, the next big moment in NASCAR Cup Series racing.
Oh yeah. Recently I just took a trip down to Diecast Depot, and believe it or not, I refrained myself while I was in Diecast. I walked out with 164, so I chopped that off as a win. So I went there, and after I left Diecast Depot, I ventured down to good old Dawsonville, Georgia, to check out Elliott Racing Heritage down there, and finally made my way by the good old Dawsonville pool room, fellas.
Oh man, is that an official T-shirt?
That is official, straight from Dawsonville, Georgia's pool room.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Oh yeah.
I got to ask you real quick because I saw a picture of you and Mrs. Elliott, Mama Elliott. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? How that happened?
It's kind of like how I met Bill Elliott. We were getting ready to leave, and she was coming out, and I asked the guy that was ringing me up. I asked, I was like, "Is that's Miss Elliott?" And he said, "It indeed is." And she was like, she came up and asked if I wanted a picture, and we got to talking. And come to find out, she is also a Eastern NC native. I think so.
Wow.
Believe it or not, yeah. So that happened, and after I left the good old Georgia Racing Hall of Fame, I ventured down to the pool room and got the world famous bully burger that they have. So that was good. That was good. I really enjoyed that.
Scale of 1 to 10. I'm gonna put you on the hook, man. You got to rate it.
Of the bully burger.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna give it an 8. I'm gonna give
Nice.
it an 8. It was a real good burger. The onion, I had onion rings as the side. It was really good.
That's great, man. That's
I
cool, man. That was great.
also picked up this good old Merry Off Season and a Happy Christmas sweatshirt while I was down there. No hate to Harvick, but I had to have it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Listen, I think even Kevin Harvick would laugh at that right now. So, what a crazy part of 2021 that was.
Yeah.
Wow. I wouldn't have guessed those two guys would go after it, but
Yeah.
I can see why after Bristol. So
For sure.
yeah. Well, man, I tell you what, I want to get some of the sad out early on in this pod. I want to talk about a tribute to, and we just lost Cale Yarborough, one of NASCAR's greatest drivers. I got my my Holly Farms diecast right here just to kind of shout out old Cale Yarborough, man. But I wanted to take a minute just to recognize, I mean, obviously a 3-time champion and back-to-back years of 76, 77, and 78. 4-time Daytona 500 winner, 83 wins. His famous role in the 1979 Daytona 500. I mean, this guy's a legend. And, we lost him New Year's Eve, or around about then. I don't know the exact date he passed, but just one of the greats, man. I won't maybe for another pod we'll do our greatest of all time list, but he's definitely in my top 10, fellas.
Same here.
Yeah, and I was reading some stuff. I think it was yesterday, and I had a funny story I read. So he was actually playing football for Clemson. I guess he's from Timminsville, which is near Darlington.
Yeah.
But he was playing Clemson football for Frank Howard, and he tried to qualify for a NASCAR race, and he lied about his age and got disqualified. And then Coach Frank Howard gave him an ultimatum that to either stop messing around with NASCAR and get serious about football. And he said, well, I'm gonna go NASCAR racing. And years later, he'd have Coach Howard down in the pits, and the coach was like, man, I ain't been wrong about too many things, but I was wrong about this one. So a shout out to a legend, man, and he will be sorely missed in the NASCAR community as well as the greater South Carolina community.
For sure. Man, it was definitely before our time, but it's good for us to recognize the greats of NASCAR and the talent that he had, and in my opinion, I think he was one of the ones that was very underrated, and people did not give enough recognition that they should have gave to him. Like you said, with 83 wins and Daytona wins, man. I mean, you can't beat it. A true legend for our sport and a historian of our sport, for sure.
Yeah, Thomas, what you got? You got anything on him?
No, man, just been this off season, been going to Lionel a lot, and I stopped by RCR last week just to visit on my way home, and I enjoy stopping by the race shops every now and again just to see what's new and what's going on. And I plan to visit Hendrick Motorsports soon, hopefully this week, maybe not, but I want to see their museum and some of the stuff they have in there, like Junior's Daytona car, Gordon's Martinsville car, two of the ones I really want to see. So, but nothing much going on really for me other than that.
Guys, I think speaking of museums, let's head into the racing rundown. I got to ask you guys, what is your guys' thoughts on the closing of the Winston Cup Museum? We all recently were just there before it closed, and now, with everything still going on, how are we feeling?
Yeah, man, I'm just basically still kind of gutted over it. Kaleb and I went the Saturday after Thanksgiving. We definitely got got wind that they were closing soon, and I wanted to get out there because, we're all native North Carolinians, but I had never been out there before. I knew it was out there, but just, I guess, fell victim to that thought process, like it's always going to be there. And then, My first real exposure to it was back in May for the All-Star race in North Wilkesboro. They were out there in full force outside the track. They had a nice display of memorabilia. They were selling T-shirts, and actually, I got one of the T-shirts that has caused all the controversy. Actually, I got more than one. Real quick, fellas. So I got this Winston shirt.
Oh yeah.
And let me show you this one too. I got this Winston Cup old logo
like that
shirt.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah. And then I messed up and I didn't get the 4th or 5th one. I guess they have, but I did get this last one. This 25th anniversary 1996 shirt. But anyway, I just saw on J-Ski yesterday or today how this company that owns Winston is still going after him over this kind of stuff. And I mean, you saw when we got there, I mean, it's a modest museum in the heart of NASCAR country. Real salt of the earth people running the show. They'll talk to you like you're their best friend when you get there. Absolutely. And, you know, they weren't hurting anybody, in my opinion. I mean, I'm sure they could have worked something out for royalties on an annual basis that they'd have been willing to pay. I noticed guys, and a couple of YouTube videos have been done, I think, on it. But the Mecum auto auction for it looks like 30-something cars is going live tomorrow, and it'll be up until January 14th. And, I mean, you have to register to bid, but everything's on that website as far as the cars that were in the museum, the sheet metal, the stuff on the walls. I'm thinking about registering, and I know I don't have the bank account to purchase anything on auction, but man, I mean, if you get a chance, I guess go and look at it. I hope they get a ton of money for that stuff just to help that family and the owner, man. But just really sad about it.
I definitely think I gotta agree. I mean, it's an important part of NASCAR history that you know, that it can no longer continue. And, you know, it's been running for 19 years, and just for it to stop like this, I mean, I think the owner, he seems desperate, and definitely at this point, it's a pettiness game. It's a game of pettiness that's carrying on, and, you know, and I think the owner should be ashamed, and, you know, but, you know, big corporations are always about the money anyway, so they don't care, and, you know, us race fans, we care, and, you know, at the end of the day, it sucks. It truly sucks.
Yeah, like one thing I'll mention too, real quick. So I know when I was up there, we were talking to some of I think it was the owner's family member or something. Yeah. And I think it's important to note that when this big company sues them, and they've sued them multiple times, the Winston Cup Museum wins the lawsuits, but they keep, you know, it's like death by lawsuit. They just keep slapping one. As soon as they get a judgment for the museum, they slap them with another one. I believe when we went to see them, they were around $550,000 in legal fees alone, battling this, you know, I guess Fortune 500 or whatever company, and it was just not going to ever improve. So I just really, that's part of our society. I don't like, but yeah, I just think it's important to note they are winning the lawsuits. It's unfortunate that they just don't have an unlimited bank account to keep fighting.
Yeah, and you know, they mentioned that, you know, fans have offered to do GoFundMe's, but, you know, like you say, it's genuine people who aren't using the fans' money to try to pay for those legal fees and things like that. I think that's what stuck out to me more than anything, and how they kept continuing to fight to preserve the history of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my first introduction to the Winston Cup Museum was the last day it was open. I wasn't, you know, familiar with it at all, didn't know much about it until the last day. Me and Kaleb went, and a bunch of people there, and you could see a lot of people care about it and care about the history and care about NASCAR, and it just feels like one big family when you're there. Everybody gets along. Everybody has, you know, everybody pulls for different drivers, but in the end, we're all NASCAR fans. We all support the same cause. And it just seems completely unnecessary for this museum to close. I mean, the Winston Cup era has been gone for 20 years, and they haven't hurt a single soul since then. So I don't know why now it's a problem. I mean, it is corporate greed. It is, it's just, there's no reason for it to happen, and it's sad. But there is options. There are options like rebranding, and there are a couple options that could be explored to continue the museum. But obviously, the big corporation did not want to go that route, and nobody wants to seem to make any way in fixing the museum and making it stay. So, I mean, we're just going to have to accept it, and it's sad, but there's nothing that we can do. There's nothing that, one small family can do against a huge corporation, and it's just going to, like you said, with the, the lawsuit, it's just going to be one right after another, and eventually, the family or the smaller party is just going to have to step down because, I mean, no matter how many cars you sell, no matter how many GoFundMe's you can set up, there's only so much, money that you can make and put aside for this, and in the end, the big corporation is going to win, and this is the way it is.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly right, man. Well said. I think they did talk about that. I want to say I don't know how they would have rebranded. I think there was probably some talk about memorializing someone that was involved with it. Like if it's the John Smith Memorial Museum or something like that. I think they could have done it, but man, I think where you get sticky is all the Winston branded stuff that you can't really hide because
Right.
it was decades of our sport. So, yeah, I mean, you can tell whatever entity owns this Winston brand has no interest in preserving that history, and it's sad.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I think we got that out. I think we got Cale's passing out. So let's get to some fun stuff, man. Let's go to Trackside Chatter, and I'll kick it off. I want to ask y'all a question, and that's
lay it on me.
Yeah, man, I got one. Which driver will have a breakout or bounce back season in 2024? Kind of like a William Byron type of season.
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna kick it off, and man, I tell you, Kaleb, you're gonna strangle me, man. I'm getting. You probably think I'm gonna go in a direction I'm not gonna go in. So I'm gonna tell you, this is my pick. I think that my driver to have a quote unquote breakout or bounce back season is going to be your boy, driver of the number 11 FedEx, Davis Brake. Denny Hamlin is going to win. Denny Hamlin is going to win at least 5 races. 5 races
Wow.
at least. He is going to cap off his illustrious NASCAR career with a championship. He's got everything right, man. You sent us the thing today. He finally put the ring on Jordan Fish's hand, got the family right,
you want to know his caption was? Jordan 1 ring, Denny 0. That's what his caption was. Let's keep that in mind. But hey, I'm not hating it. I'm not hating it.
Well, listen, man. I'm just gonna say this. I go back and forth. I think y'all know, Bristol playoff race. I thought he was winning. Martinsville playoff race. I thought he was never gonna win. But when I saw that tweet, man, or whatever it was on X, I saw a man renewed. The podcast, the Actions Detrimental is a hot podcast. I mean, he's gonna do it, man. He's gonna do it. That's my pick, man. We're gonna watch Denny Hamlin turn into performance of a lifetime in 2024. So what y'all got?
Man, you got Denny. Well, I'm going with my safe bet. I'm going with the driver of the number 9 Napa Chevrolet, Mr. Chase Elliott. I've been to Dawsonville. I think the residents of Dawson County is ready to sound that siren at the pool room. I think Chase Elliott is hungry for a win after coming off a winless season last season. I think he wins 4 races and makes it to the championship 4. And I do think he will have a fire under his tail come the playoffs, in the round of 16 and the round of 12, he has won at every track that is in the round of 16 and the round of 12. So I think Chase Elliott will make his name still in the headlines and will not be going anywhere, and will have multiple wins next season.
Hey, all right. Hey, listen, he was on my list. Now I ain't gonna lie to you. He was on my list, a short list. Ultimately, I went with Denny, but I ain't mad at the Chase Renaissance in 2024, if you will. So, Thomas, what you think about that?
Well, for my choice for this is going to be the driver of the number 23, Bubba Wallace, to have a breakout year.
That's a solid pick.
Love it.
Just, with one win in 2021 and one win in 2022, he hasn't had a breakout year yet. And I do think that with 23XI's performance with Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace this past season, I see Bubba Wallace coming out with 3-4 wins and making a deep run in the playoffs. But that's where I'm at. He was. I had a few names written down, and he was the one that I feel like has the best chance.
Now I gotta ask. Now, what round of the playoffs? How far do you think Bubba will make it in the playoffs?
This might be a stretch, but I'm going to say the round of 8.
Hey, I wouldn't even say stretch. That's what I got. I mean, I think the fire he caught in the playoffs this past season, he ran good at Roval, and I mean, he was one of the ones that I think was he would have been a sleeper if he was still in the playoff. I wholeheartedly believe that. Do I think he would have made it to the championship for TBD? But I definitely think he would have been one of those ones in contention.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah. I also want to ask Thomas, because I want to get real specific too. How many wins does Bubba have getting to that round of 8?
I'm going to say 4 wins on the season. I'm going to say 3. I'm going to say 3 going into the playoffs, and then he's going to have 1. He's going to point himself, and then he's going to win 1 race to get him into the round of 8. So that's 4 total races for the season. Race wins.
Love it. Love it.
Now I saw this tweet with NASCAR on NBC. It was put out today. It's your way too early. Who was your championship winner?
Yeah, I tipped mine. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I just tipped mine. It's Denny Hamlin in 2024. I think Thomas is with me on this, by the way. Thomas, can I get you to weigh in on that?
Yep. I just I saw Denny Hamlin in the playoffs, and you could tell that he really wanted it. And I do think that going into next season, he's gonna have. I'm just go ahead and say he's gonna have 6 or 7 wins before the playoffs. And then once he's a changed man, and I'm telling you, come playoff time, he's gonna start whooping some tail, and he's gonna make the Final Four, and then he's gonna win Phoenix, and that's it, championship, and all the haters, everybody can be quiet. Because it's over, and Denny Hamlin will have his championship.
Wow. Boom. Wow. Hey, 6 or 7 wins going into the playoffs. That's a hot take right there, man. I love it.
It's so hot that I'm surprised the smoke alarm ain't going off. Man, that's bold.
Hey, listen, Kaleb. I'm gonna let you say something, because I know you're not on this bandwagon we got going, man. So, so tell us what you think.
Now, I like Denny. I do. I like Denny, but I just think, I told you, and I've been saying it. He couldn't execute it after Bristol. He ain't getting it. We all thought
that's a fair point.
We all thought Bristol was the one he was gonna set sail off into the championship. But hey, I don't know what happened. I don't know. Maybe because he got his hair cut now different. He might make it in there now. Hey, like you say, new year, new me. New year, new Denny.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you alluded to. I was just gonna say, Kaleb, it was when he did the Dale Jr. download with that haircut, and then he gets married, and then he's got the universe is in balance. 23XI's opened up a brand new shop. He's getting it done, man.
Man, now I gotta say, I don't know if this person's probably just as bad as Denny haters or what, but other than Chase, I'm throwing Joseph Logano out there to make it that championship 4 and win it, because Joey doesn't like to lose, and Joey is not afraid to put the bumper and put you in the wall to win a championship. And I think Joey is looking for redemption, coming off a first round exit. That's what I think Joey is, because he's not used to being out that early. And kind of a side tidbit, I found out also, it's an even number year. Apparently Joey makes it to the championship 4 in like an even number year somehow for like the past, I don't know, since 2014, I want to say. So
that's a good point.
Hey, he said the 22 and 22, maybe the 22 and 24. I don't know.
Hey, speaking of that, what about the 24 and 24? I mean, are we going? Does anybody have any feeling about that?
Look, I mean, as Gordon fans here, I love to see the 24 win a championship again. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I mean, if Byron comes out swinging and comes back, then I think he can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would definitely be happy with a William Byron championship. I mean,
I
can definitely see that happening.
I'm gonna be honest. I think I think Byron's gonna be. I think Byron's gonna be a sleeper. I do. I think he'll get 2 wins this season though, but I think he'll still be in contention, because I do think this season in particular will be one of the ones that we are gonna look at, and you're gonna go to every race and be like, man, I can't tell you who's gonna win it.
Yeah. I'll put Byron at 3 or 4. Definitely not 6. But I think he'll be up there. He runs great at every kind of track. My only concern with all the Hendrick drivers, and by the way, let me throw a little caveat on my thing. If Denny Hamlin doesn't get it done, my boy Kyle Larson be ready right there, the championship 4 to swoop in, get his second championship. So that's what I'm gonna go with if Denny can't get it done. But I will say, I mean, the only thing I worry about is with the Hendrick drivers and any Chevy driver is they're going to be racing that Camaro, and they've got the Mustang Dark Horse and the new, Toyota Camry. So I'm a little worried about that as a Chevy fan. But other than that, I mean, Hendrick's going to be strong. It's just a matter of how handicapped that could make them.
That's true. Thomas, I saw you shaking your head down there when you mentioned Larson championship.
Hey, for all our listeners, I'm just going to throw this out here in the pilot that I am a huge Kyle Larson fan, and these 2 rascals right here, I would say, let me just say that they aren't as enthusiastic Kyle Larson fans as I am. Is that fair to say?
I would say that's fair, but I must admit, Larson's slowly growing. He's slowly growing on me. I gotta say, it's slowly but surely. It's getting there. It's getting there.
I mean, I respect Larson, I really do, but sometimes you just get tired of seeing the same person over and over and over again. It's what it is.
Yeah.
Gotta get used to it, because 10, 15 years from now, we're gonna be looking back at this upcoming season and being like, man, Kyle Larson's one of the all-time greats. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
I mean, I think we could. I mean, honestly, we could allude that to when he was driving the 42 for Chip Ganassi, honestly. But, I mean, the guy, he's a wheelman. He can get in anything. He can, have a race on Sunday and be in Oklahoma doing a dirt race in a sprint car or a late model on Saturday, like a few days before. So, I mean, he's a wheelman. I got to give it to him. I give credit where credit's due, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I'm not saying y'all are haters. I'm just saying that y'all might have been one race too many where Larson put a butt whooping on them, and you don't necessarily want to see that in 2024. I get it. So, but no, that would be my second. But I am a little worried about the Chevys now.
So what I'm hearing is, y'all would rather see a Denny butt whooping every race than a Kyle Larson butt whooping every race.
Oh, I'll stop short personally on that.
Yep.
But yeah, I think Thomas will agree with you on that one.
Absolutely.
Look,
I sure will.
Look, I just need a Chase Elliott Roval dominant race. That's all I need.
Hey, listen, let's be honest. Let's all agree on one thing right now. We have got to, and hopefully we're both there, Thomas, when Kaleb sees Chase Elliott win live for the first time. Because I mean, this man has been to so many races that Chase could have won. I mean, we're sitting there last year at the Roval, and halfway through that race, I thought I was thinking to myself, Kaleb, this is the one, buddy. You got it. And doggone, it didn't happen. But I hope in 2024, Kaleb, you get to see Chase Elliott win live. How's that?
Hey, I can hope so. I can hope. I can hope. Let's just hope there's no pit crew mishaps, no wrong calls on the box, and our teammates don't run into us on pit road or run us off the track.
Yeah. Speaking of Chase Elliott, it might be time for a certain somebody on the crew team to go. We'll see. But I am also a Chase Elliott fan. I know that sounds crazy when I'm wearing a Denny Hamlin hat, but a certain someone might need to go. Might need to find a job somewhere else, different career.
Hey, hey, real quick, Thomas, do you want to say what does that name rhyme with? Because I'm not sure I'm tracking who you're talking about. Or do you want to keep that to yourself?
I think I'll keep you guys guessing.
Okay.
Wow.
I think I have an idea, but I don't want to say his name or even what his name rhymes with.
Matter of fact, when you head up to Hendrick this week, I think you need to go over there to beside the museum to go talk to Gordon and be like, hey, I got some plans for you. I got some proposals for you.
Seriously. I mean, after what was the race he ran out of gas? Was that Watkins Glen?
Watkins Glen, yep.
I mean, if that's not evidence right there in itself.
Well, you done tipped it. You done tipped it now. I know who you're talking about.
Oh, well, it should have been obvious.
Wow.
Woo. All right. I like it.
First episode, we come out swinging.
Man, it was Thomas.
I mean, yeah, Thomas is coming for blood. He
got to be honest with you guys.
Hey, I like it, man. Well, I tell you what, on that note, let's hit your topic of Speedway Spectacle. Let's get after it, man.
All right, sounds good. So for Speedway Spectacle, what diecast are you most looking forward to in 2024? Also, what is your favorite diecast that you've purchased recently? So for me, what I'm looking forward to the most is going to be Kevin Harvick's the Budweiser throwback. That's the one I'm looking forward to the most. And then for my recently purchased, it's going to have to be the Ken Schrader prototype that I recently got in the mail. So,
yeah. How was that all that you imagined it to be and more, the Ken Schrader one?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, prototypes are, few and far between, especially some of the older ones that you don't really know how many there are, or, who has them and who doesn't. It's just it's a unique piece that you can add to your collection that, that nobody else really is going to have. I mean, so it's just something unique and something cool, something different.
Yeah. And one last thing, we were the Budweiser Homestead Harvick car, right? The one
yeah, that's the one.
We were all sitting in Parker's Barbecue in Greenville, North Carolina, and by the time we had left out, you had ordered the standard arc, the elite, the color chrome, the flash coat, the gunmetal, you had everything pre-ordered.
I ordered
right?
3 of them.
Awesome, man. I got one pre-ordered too, so that's great picks, man.
Dang, all y'all's got y'all's on pre-order. I need to get on the ball.
I have to. I can't risk them getting bought up.
Man, I know. I need to get on the ball. If y'all two got y'all's on pre-order, I gotta get mine. I gotta get mine in. They're gonna see our names pop up on the screen and be like, "Oh, yeah, there it is."
Kaleb, what you got, buddy?
Man, I think My recently purchased, my favorite one that I've recently got. It has to be this this 2013 Jeff Gordon Martinsville Win Elite that I got for a really, really good price that I would consider for an Elite. And that one is very, as I've seen, it's very, very hard to find. So
Oh yeah, it sure is.
yeah.
I've
Right
also
now,
got that car.
huh?
I've also got that car in the standard ARC in my case over here. Looking at it, it's a very nice car.
And Gene, I wanna allude, if I did not buy that car, Thomas was gonna swipe me for that car.
Yes, I was. If he said he didn't want it, I was buying it immediately, and I was going to sell my ARC.
Wow.
Yes, Thomas was gonna swipe me for that car. So
I
I'm
made
glad I'm
I
glad
made
I
sure
got
Caleb had first dibs on that one. I made sure he had the first choice at it. I wasn't gonna take it without asking him, without him having the first shot at it.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, guys. I'm going to make a confession here on the pilot episode, man. So
boy.
every time I'm on eBay and I'm about to bid on a car, I look at it and I wonder, is Kaleb or Thomas looking at this thing and they're going to bid me up to my maximum bidding price?
No.
Sooner or later, that's going to happen where we're vying for the same car. And I think it's going to be funny when we figure out it's happened that way. But I always wonder about that.
I've noticed we've all got basically we're all in rotation with the same car so far in recent time right now. Me and you with the Harvick last win, and what else? Me and Thomas with the 2013 Martinsville. I mean, but we're all in rotation. I'm looking at mine now. What else? Thomas, I think you need to get you a Kurt Busch Kansas win, man.
There's something happening right now with that as we speak. So
Oh boy.
But I must add, the one I'm looking forward to being released this year is the 1993 Dale Earnhardt Charlotte win. That is one that I'm looking forward to right now. And I gotta say that Budweiser is probably gonna get pre-ordered tonight as we speak.
Yeah. I gotta make another confession, man. I do not currently have the '93 Coca-Cola 600 Dale Earnhardt Senior win on pre-order just yet. I don't know why I'm dragging my feet on that, but I need to hurry up and get that done. But yeah, that's gonna be a banger one, man. That's a Lumina, Thomas. You said isn't that one of your favorite body styles?
Best looking race car ever made, hands down.
All right. Well, listen. I'm gonna derail it just a minute and get to mine, but you got like the 92, 93, early 90s Lumina, Chevy Lumina as your favorite stock car. Thomas, that's Thomas.
Yes.
Let me go to Kaleb real quick. What is your favorite body style?
Now, I gotta say I'm a little biased, simply because this is the one that me and Thomas both kind of grew up on. I'm on the COTs. COTs are probably one of my favorite ones because that's during the time we started watching, and I think that with the Gordon cars and the schemes that came with the COTs, I think they look absolutely amazing. So that for me, I think that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that I was watching, I think Danny B, his channel or something the other day, and he's a big COT fan as well. So I mean, a lot of people hate on them. I know Junior's not fond of them, right. Especially driving them. But I look back on it. It is an era, and it's a good era, even if you don't like the way the car looks. But I'm not mad at that, man. That's an interesting pick. I think I go back and forth. I've got two in my mind, and I'm gonna say it's between the 1998 Chevy Monte Carlo. So this right here. That's probably my number one, man, because my first race I ever attended was the 98 600, where Gordon took two tires, I think, to everybody's four, or he did something like where he did two tires one year and won the 600, and then he took four tires, and I can't even remember at this point. But that was probably just a nostalgia thing for me. And he was just whooping everybody in that 98 Monte Carlo and the 97 Monte Carlo. But I actually do like the 2000 and the 2001 Monte Carlo as well. And that's, Dale Sr.'s last Monte Carlo body style, Junior's first in the Cup Series, and Gordon's 2001 championship. So I love those two cars.
For sure.
And an honorable mention is the 2023 Mustang, which I'm not I'm a Chevy guy, but I respect Ford and Toyota as well, for that matter, Dodge too. But I think those Mustangs look bad to the bone when they're on the track.
I gotta agree with you on the nostalgia part, especially with the cars from, especially like 2004, 2005, 2006 up into COT and 07. I definitely think for me, up until those COTs came out, the Monte Carlos were definitely some of my favorites. And then you had Tauruses at one point. My aunt had a Taurus, so I kind of related it to that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Now that was a good little derail, man. We're back on track now, but I just thought that was interesting when Thomas offered up his favor. I figured we go ahead and knock those out.
Yeah.
So let me see. Let me get back to Speedway Spectacle here. So what I'm most looking forward to, and based on the last segment, this won't surprise you, but I am looking most forward to, from a diecast perspective, in 2024, the Kyle Larson 600 double. The Charlotte, the orange and the blue paint scheme, Cup car, and then the Indy car he's going to run in the 500 earlier that day. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to display those, but I'm really excited about that for obvious reasons, being a Kyle Larson fan. And then, man, what did I buy recently that I was just really enamored with? I'm going to tell you right now, I don't even have it yet. It's in transit, but I went ahead and got that 1992 Ricky Rudd Tide Lumina to round out. Yeah, I did, man. I overpaid a little, but I did talk to the guy. I just pleaded with him a price that I thought was fair, and he took it, and it's en route to the house. But what that does, that is the final car for me for my history of the Hendrick 5 case that I'm building out. It's a 10-car case. It actually starts with a custom Dale Sr. shook that car down that they're making now for the 40th anniversary. It's a white City Chevrolet, I think, just 5 with a mirrored 5 on it. He took that for laps in Charlotte, so I have a custom one of those, and I did pre-order the Lionel version, but then from there all the way through down to Kyle Larson's 5, I've got at least one car of every driver of that 5 now. So I'm looking to complete that case, and the 92 Ricky Rudd Lumina was my final piece. So that's going to be the one I get.
I gotta add, I think another one I'm looking forward to is Hendrick's on the 40th anniversary. So I'm looking forward to seeing those 40th anniversary cars being released and being ran in Martinsville. So I think those are going to be really cool to see and one day produce those.
Yeah, and to my knowledge, guys, there's no – I mean, when they show those images of the cars, they're under wraps, so I haven't seen anything, right? Nothing's been released.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm super pumped about that. Now, is that spring or fall Martinsville?
I want to say spring.
So do we need to add spring Martinsville to our race list, guys?
Look, it's on my TBD list. It is. I'm not sure yet, but I said it may be one I might just throw in there.
I don't know about spring Martinsville this year. I'm thinking about doing Richmond instead.
Oh, I could be swayed on Richmond because I've never been there.
Look, well, breaking news, I think you should tag along. I told Thomas, I said I'll get in with him if he does it.
Yeah. Let's talk after the pod tonight because I might need to. We got to figure this out. And that's a very intriguing one for me because I can't tell you how many times I've gone like in my mind, I'm going to Richmond this year. I'm going to Richmond, and for whatever reason, it just never happened. So I can be easily swayed on that one.
Yeah. Well, fellas, I think let's dive into the fuel for thought here. And, you know, with the 2023 season wrapped up and 2024 season's quickly approaching us, what is probably you guys' best memory or moment from the 2023 season? And then I have to add, what are you most anticipating and looking forward to within the 2024 season?
Yeah, so for those who are listening on the podcast platforms, you're not going to be able to see this unless you watch the YouTube video, but you're not going to be able to see Thomas's eyes roll in the back of his head when I say this. But my best memory of 2023 was being at North Wilkesboro, for going back to North Wilkesboro, but in the manner in which the weekend went. I drove from the Charlotte area up to Wilkesboro Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It was a magical experience, but obviously the Saturday truck race, Kyle Larson won. If he wasn't fastest in practice on Friday, he was up there, but I want to say he was fastest in practice. And then he flat out dominated the All-Star race. It was magical if you were a Kyle Larson fan. It absolutely sucked if you weren't. And it was probably a boring race on TV. Yep. But that was my most magical moment of 2023. And anyway, yeah. Man, you gave me. I mean, I'm getting teeth. You know, you sucking your teeth, eye rolling. I'm loving it. But then in 2024, I'm gonna say, because I feel so much conviction about it. And guys, there was a time where I did not want to see Denny Hamlin win the championship, but I have so much conviction about. Oh, there goes another eye roll with Kaleb. I'm getting them all today. But if Denny pulls this off like I think he's going to do, I mean it's going to be a great moment in NASCAR history and for Denny and for Joe Gibbs. So those are my two. So with that being said, I'll kick it to someone else to go.
Thomas, is on you, dog.
So the best moment from the 2023 season, and I might be a little biased because I'm a big Dale Jr. fan, is going to have to be him running the Xfinity race at Bristol. And there's a few reasons to that. And the main reason would be that he ran so well and he was running up front and he was competitive, which, you know, being competitive is always a concern for drivers who have retired and coming back for an Xfinity start. But not only did he run competitive, but it was also a great race. You know, it was a great short track race, which we haven't seen much of recently with the cars. And of course, it was a great race, but that's not a very high bar to clear given what we see with the Cup Series. But I'm just going to have to say that Dale Jr. and Xfinity in Bristol was my top moment of the 2023 season. And for what I'm looking forward to is just going to be just going to the races and going to the track, seeing it live, hearing it and feeling it. That's, to me, is what I'm looking forward to the most. That's what I get the most excited about, is going to the race. And when you're there sitting in the grandstands and they crank those cars up, there's nothing like it. And I will always enjoy that and always look forward to it.
Well said.
Yeah, gotta agree. That's not mine, but I gotta agree. Agree. Now, don't throw tomatoes at me for this one. My favorite moment of the 2023 season. Now, people listening are probably going to be like, he's such a hypocrite. He's the biggest hypocrite on the show. My favorite moment of the 2023 season is, you know, I beat your favorite driver. It was as Dale says, a good old-fashioned ass whooping. It was. I mean, he dominated it, and we were at that race, and I definitely think it was a statement race. It was, and he just didn't execute out that. But I think that was probably and then being at Bristol. I think being at Bristol for the first time, experiencing Bristol and being at the night race at Bristol was an experience within itself. Though the third stage is probably a snooze fest. I mean, it was it was still fun being there at Bristol and experiencing Thunder Valley at its finest. And I would say what I'm looking forward to in the 2024 season would probably have to be obviously a Chase Elliott win, but I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what NASCAR can do with the short tracks. I'm looking forward to the short track races. To see, we saw with Martinsville in the playoff race. I'm seeing if they can take what they learned from that and implement it in 2024. That's what I'm looking forward to, and along with the playoffs itself. With new playoff tracks that they got going in, I'm ready for it. I'm ready.
Man, I'm laughing because you had me so scared when you said you were a hypocrite for saying it. And I don't know why my mind thought this, but I thought you were going to say when Chase Elliott right rear hooked Denny Hamlin in Charlotte for the 600. I thought I don't know why my mind went there.
Look, I'm not that big of a Denny hater. Come on now. I'm not like the ones that's trying to fight him in the garage and whatnot on pit road. I'm not the fans that's trying to fight him after the race after he wrecks my driver. No, I can't do that.
Well, I apologize, man. I know you. I should have never thought that, but I thought, man, what does he get ready to say? And that's the first thing that popped in my head, man. I don't know why, but not. You hit the nail on the head. That's an iconic moment. They should play that all the time when he said that. That was just such a G move, a flex, and
absolutely,
man. Absolutely. I mean, Kaleb, do you remember the whole arena that is Bristol was? Besides me, you, they were just like booing him like he was like just a terrible person, and it was like he just flexed on him and dropped the mic, man.
Man. It's crazy. It's crazy because then after that race in particular, you had everybody talking about it. His actions. Should he do this? Is he doing this right? He shouldn't be doing this because of sponsors. When you have someone like Jeff Gordon talking about you like that, I think you definitely you made your name in there.
Yeah, that was a great one. I was happy to be there for that.
Yeah, I do think that NASCAR has a personality. Like the drivers are they all act the same, and I think Denny is a standout from that. So to see Denny do that and to see him say that was something different that I really enjoyed. So I just want to throw that out there.
You talk about personalities, but I wouldn't say all of them have a NASCAR personality as the same. It's some.
Well, not all of them, but
it's some that are pretty questionable. Some drivers like to hide. But
yeah, I agree, and that's kind of part of the appeal with like if you weren't a Denny Hamlin supporter all his career, as he gets closer to the twilight of his career, and he's kind of letting it fly now, and I think that's why a lot of us kind of like it. It's just he's unapologetically Denny Hamlin right now, and I'm here for it. I mean, as mad as I was on the Sundays, he wrecked Kyle Larson, couple times this year. I still appreciate the rawness that is Denny Hamlin in 2023, 2024, and beyond.
I agree.
Yeah, but yeah, man, this is I tell you, it's we talked a lot about Denny Hamlin in this podcast, man. It's crazy. He's like a lightning rod for our pilot podcast, man.
I know, right?
It's funny, man. It's funny. All right. Yeah, I think did we get them all?
Yep, it looks like it.
Yeah, I think so, man. I think so. Well, let's go around real quick and talk about while we're doing this podcast or what's the reasons behind it or whatnot. And I'll go ahead and lead us off real quick. For me, there's a lot of NASCAR podcasts that you can listen to. They're all great. I listen to them myself every week. But getting to meet Kaleb, Thomas, and forming this bond over NASCAR and being native North Carolinians. I mean, to me, that's what this show is going to bring. It's going to bring a real perspective, multiple perspectives of a bunch of guys who are regular guys who are just native to the greatest state in the union, if you will. And, North Carolina is such a bastion for NASCAR. If you're from here, it is almost your birthright to be a NASCAR fan, to have the race shops, the tracks that are accessible, the retailers, everything is here. And if you don't grow up liking it, I mean, that's your prerogative, but I mean, it is in the blood and the DNA of all three of us. And I just think having a weekly podcast that we do this weekly. We talk about racing. We talk about it in the heat of the battle in the season. We talk about it in the playoffs. We talk about it in the off season. We really think about it probably 365 days a year. And I just think that's what we're going to bring. We're going to bring you the perspective over growing up with it, wearing the gear, watching everything and consuming all the media, dissecting every lap and every pit stop and every driver and team. I just think that's what you're going to get if you listen to the NASCAR Nuts and Bolts podcast on a weekly basis. And I mean, it's just really fun to hang out and talk with you guys. And that's basically why I'm doing it. So with that being said, I'll kick it to the next person, but I'm just super happy to be launching this tonight.
I don't think there's really much else I can add to. I mean, that was perfect. It's in this day and time, it is kind of difficult to find NASCAR fans. Although they are around, they don't make it known. They don't make it obvious. They don't wear this stuff. They don't talk about it. But, the reason for me doing this podcast is just to talk to, like-minded people about something that I'm passionate about, that you guys are passionate about. And it's just something fun to do and, just see where it takes us, just something fun, something that we can enjoy all together, something that, we can have a good time.
I agree. I think you boys hit the nail on the head. I mean, we caught ourselves talking about NASCAR like you said, Gene, majority of the time, that's what we did. And, we thought, why not put our conversations into a podcast and let others engage? And I think that's why we're here now, and that's why we're dropping this episode tonight. And I definitely think what we can do with this podcast, wherever it goes, I feel like we can engage with more racing fans and connect with more racing fans than we have than ever before. Like you say, like Thomas said, with social media and fans that aren't really outspoken about it or aren't really voicing their love for the sport like they want to, I think this is a good outlet for them, with social media and be able to engage and, like you say, maybe meeting up at the track with us sometime or, or like you say, like when we were at Bristol and I met up with like three of the guys that I talked NASCAR with before. So I definitely think it's one of those that one of these podcasts that, any NASCAR fan can be welcome to join and listen to and engage with.
Absolutely, fellas. Oh, I'm happy to be here with y'all tonight. We'll do it weekly here in the lead up to the 2024 season and beyond. And again, just super excited, man, and can't wait to keep this going.
Yes, sir. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. We appreciate everyone for tuning in. And we will see you guys next week on NASCAR's Nuts and Bolts Podcast.